Hi everyone, my name's Chris Venter, and today we're going to talk about getting into cryptocurrency. Okay, so now we're going to talk about where to learn a bit more. So here's a bunch of places that you're probably going to spend a long time, and I'll click on a few of these. So CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is fantastic. It lists all the cryptocurrencies. As we can see, there's 1,339. Right now, we can see the current price of Bitcoin, 14,740. You can see the trading volume. You can see all the other currencies like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. You can scroll down the list. You can go into one like Bitcoin, then gives you the pricing for the year. And if we go to the last day, we can see the volatility that we've had up and down for the last day. Another really great and interesting feature in here is this thing called markets. So you can click on this markets tab and it tells you where it's selling for what price and which exchange. So you can see BitMEX, we've had, you know, over $2 billion worth of value in here, BitThumb, Bitfinex. You can also see the price differences across these different exchanges and the volumes in here. So that's a great way to see what type of exchanges out there and what exist. And there's also all kinds of other tools in here, but I'll just leave it at that for basic capability. So you will spend a lot of time on CoinMarketCap. The other one, as I said, is the Australian exchange comparison, so Blockcoin. So this is a great one to compare the prices on all the different exchanges in Australia. CoinStop is the other one I said before, where you can buy hardware wallets. And CoinSpot is an exchange as well. So that's one of the Australian exchanges that has all kinds of currency. You can see all the ones that they allow you to trade in. You know, so there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Dash, Monero, Stellar. So all the big name coins are here that you can, you know, trade in. So they've got a great number of coins to trade in. ACX is the other one that I talked about. So this is a nice little exchange. If I go to trade now, here you can see that they trade Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and this one here called HSR, which I don't even know what it is. So let's have a look. We can find what HSR is here. HShare. So that's what they're trading in on there. Right, and finally, there's this other great site which has got lots of information on Bitcoin called Blockchain Info, and this one lists all the blocks being mined. You can go to data and go to stats, and this tells you all stats about what the current transaction fees, what the current mining costs and revenue are. But there's a great one down the bottom here called unconfirmed transactions, and you go in here and it gives you a list and says right now there are 105,000 unconfirmed transactions. So this is quite low today. On Thursday last week, this was at about 250,000 unconfirmed transactions. What that means is it just takes a lot longer for your money to go from your wallet to the exchange or vice versa, because you're effectively sitting in a queue. And this is one of the challenges with blockchain, or the Bitcoin version of blockchain, is it doesn't have the kind of throughput that something like the Swift network that processes banking transactions have. You know, Visa deals with hundreds and thousands of transactions a second, and blockchain manages about 7 transactions a second. So there's a very different level of scaling that occurs. So the other thing then is, where can you learn more? And there are some fantastic resources out on the internet, and these guys have really helped me, so big shout out to all of them. I'm not going to click on all of them here. There's a few that I watch. There's many more. Crypto Daily is one that I love watching. He's an English guy, and he's just super funny, really smart guy. Lots of daily updates, but he does it in a very humorous way, and gives you a good laugh while you learn. There's another guy called Superman, calls himself the cryptocurrency superhero. He's also got a Udemy course that you can buy, which I've heard some good feedback on. I haven't done it myself, but all the people who follow him seem to rate it. But he's a very charismatic guy, also really hilarious and funny. So you'll learn a lot from him. Another guy I watch is called Data Dash, and he's really great on trading advice, teaching you a little bit about trading, but also market advice and just sound analysis, just really smart. There's another guy called David Hay, and he's an Australian guy actually, and he's living in the USA, and he's got some of the smartest descriptions of what cryptocurrencies are, what different ones do, what their teams are, what their backing is, talks about things like forks, talks about how the blockchain works. Go read some of his back articles, but he has a way of explaining it that is just brilliant. So really, really good, useful person there. Another guy called Chris Dunn. He's got some good perspective on markets, but he's not that active. And then another American guy called Crypto Bobby, who's a really down-to-earth IT guy who talks about his experiences in Bitcoin, and you can learn a lot from all of these guys. Finally, who do I follow on Twitter? So Twitter's a great place to keep up to date with kind of breaking news, if you like. So some of those guys I follow. Michael Suppo is Superman. Box Mining is another guy I follow. Tone Vase for trading, really interesting guy. Vitalik Buterin, he's the guy who invented Ethereum, so he's always interesting to follow. There's a thing called Cointelegraph News, which gives regular updates on what's happening in the industry. That's a good one. And Crypto Bobby, I also follow him on Twitter. He has some funny tweets. So you're going to hear a lot of terminology when you get into this. Some of it's going to be scary. I've listed a few here, things like fiat you'll hear, and that's effectively government issued currency. So our Australian dollar is fiat. You hear things like a whale. Whales are people who own a ton of cryptocurrency and possibly can influence the market. So because of the low market cap relativity of things like crypto, one of the dangers is you do have people who hold very large sums of this, and they can impact the market. They can dump a lot of cryptocurrency and drop the price. They can buy a lot and increase the price. They can put sell walls, buy walls in exchanges, and generally affect the price, which, you know, is again why this can be something that you've really got to think about as you get into, because it's, you know, it's a bit different to normal trading of stocks. You hear terms like bullish, which means there's an expectation that price will go up. You'll hear terms like bearish, assuming the market is not particularly active and prices are decreasing. You also can hear altcoins. So I talked about that before. Altcoins are effectively alternate coins, and anything that's not Bitcoin based on other types of blockchains are usually referred to as altcoins. Tokens is another thing, and that refers to the currency of projects. So there's a really great thing about altcoins is that businesses who've got a great idea nowadays who want to start up their business used to have to go to venture capitalists for funding. What they can now do is, if you've got a great idea, you can start a cryptocurrency and do what's called an initial coin offering. And from there, people who love your idea can buy your token. And usually they buy Ethereum, and then they transfer that to you and buy your token. And that's effectively them buying into your organization, you giving them a token that is saying, I'm expecting this to be worth something one day. And for the general public, it means we get access to great ideas early. You can do your research. And in the past, you would have venture capitalists or big hedge funds who would get access to IPOs early and new great tech, and the general public would never have a chance. So ICOs allows you to get on board with some new idea. If you believe in it, buy into it, and that idea, you know, really might be worth something in a little while. There's some great projects out there. There are people, you know, inventing the distributed internet, a coin called Golem. There's all kinds of cool ideas out there with people doing things. So that's where you'll hear this term ICO, which is, as I said, similar to an IPO. The other term you'll hear is FOMO, fear of missing out. Generally leads you to make really stupid trading decisions. The other thing is FUD, so fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And the crypto markets are quite interesting. They can be really affected by this. So news breaks that a Chinese exchange is going bankrupt, or the particular government in a particular area are regulating Bitcoin and shutting down exchanges. These can have drastic impacts on the prices of different coins. And so, you know, one of the Chinese cryptocurrency coins called Neo had a really big impact when the Chinese government said, we're going to be regulating Bitcoin, cutting access to exchanges. Sometimes it's based on real news, and other times it's fake news. So FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, people love to spread it to manipulate prices. You're also going to hear this funny term called hodl, and it's basically a typo. So there's a really funny post, and you can click it there. And I'll put all of these links down below in the description, so you can go to them. But yeah, it was a lady, I think, or I don't even know if it was a female, but it was someone who was talking about holding, and they accidentally typed hodl, and just the funniness of their post, it went viral. And now the term for holding cryptocurrency long term is called hodling. I got some of these off this list. There's a great link if you go to this particular website here. It's called Crypto Minded Glossary of Currency Terms, and here you can see all the terms, and there's a whole lot more detail on a lot of the terms that I haven't had time to cover today. But yeah, go check it out. Okay, so you have decided to listen to some of this knowledge and get into Bitcoin. Well, welcome to your future. So there are going to be many interesting times ahead of you, and things are going along steadily for a period of time. You're then going to have some crazy rises where you see this is happening, and then you're going to have really crazy rises where, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, the price of Bitcoin has just been going parabolic, and no one's expected that. But then you're also going to see this, and this has happened over the last sort of 24 hours as well. So, and we've got some events coming up on the 10th, actually tomorrow. There's a futures exchange opening, and there's another one called the CME exchange on December the 18th. And these are going to allow futures trading against Bitcoin, and they're going to allow people to go long or short on Bitcoin with financial derivatives, and effectively bring in what they call the institutional money into the market space. And I think the impact that this is going to have on the price is going to be something like this, right? There's going to be a lot of volatility in the industry for a while. It's going to be a crazy ride, but I think long term it should have a positive impact. So we'll see. Once again, so yeah, so thank you very much for watching this. You'll see there it says AKA the Crypto Panda. I was on a recent business trip to China, and we visited a company called Tencent, and they had these awesome panda masks. And there's me and one of my work colleagues there debating Bitcoin versus Ripple, and we just couldn't stop talking about cryptocurrencies the trip. And so because of this, they called me the Crypto Panda. So that's where it came from. And just the final reminder once again, cryptocurrency trading is high risk. Only trade what you can afford to and be prepared to lose. It can be like gambling. This information is for your education, and everything in here is my views, and certainly nothing in here constitutes investment advice. So please make your own decisions and be careful out there and have fun. It's the technology in here is fascinating, and it's very interesting. And if you have any comments or thoughts or any corrections on some of the things I've said here, this is my very first YouTube vid, so be kind, but leave me some comments. And if you want to ever hear more on anything, then let me know. See you out, Chris.